Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I've got a ribbon hair bow tutorial for you today, and to make this bow you will need a good pair of fabric scissors. I'm using my Fiskars razor edge scissors. I've got a needle here threaded with some strong thread and I've already popped a knot in the end. I've got a few fabric clips and a couple of pins. I'm just going to set those aside for now. I've got these silk flowers here and my ribbon. I've chosen 2 pattern and 2 plains. You'll need 4 pieces altogether. I'll show you the measurements in a moment. And you will need a lighter to heat seal the edges of your ribbon. And all of the products that I show you in this video I will link in the description below. To get to the description, just press on the title and it will bring up the description. If I can't link the exact product, I will link something very similar. So like I said, you need 4 pieces of ribbon, 2 patterned, 2 plain, and all 4 pieces are the same width and length. And this ribbon is 1.5 inch wide or 4 centimeters wide, and I've cut all 4 pieces to 20 centimeters in length or just short of 8 inches in length, and that is all 4 pieces. And then taking my lighter and 1 of the patterned and 1 of the plain to basically use the plain ribbon to line our patterned, because as you can see the patterned ribbon as a rule is normally white at the back. You can get double-sided ribbons, but obviously most are plain. So I'm going to line these 2 ribbons up together like that, and then we're going to heat seal the ends by using our lighter. And whilst we're heat sealing the ends, getting rid of any frays and preventing any further fraying, we're also melting those fibres so that when I pinch these together, they will bond the ends together. I'm going to do the same with the other end, so flipping it over, meeting the 2 ends together, running the lighter along the length, and then gently pinching it with my thumb and finger, being careful not to burn your fingers because it does get hot, so be careful. And then if I show you on the first end, because that will be nice and cooled now, as you can see, as the fibres have cooled, they've bonded them 2 together. I'm going to do the same now with my other 2 pieces, so 1 piece of patterned, 1 piece of plain. So now we have our 4 pieces bonded together to make 2 pieces, 1 for each half of the bow. We're going to take our top piece first, and I'm holding it so that my pattern is facing towards me because that is going to be what shows the most on the bow at the top. So pattern facing up, unless you want your plain, it's up to you. And we're going to take this right hand side and we're going to fold it down diagonally, and you want a 4 centimeter overhang at the bottom. So grabbing my tape measure, 4 centimeters or 1.5 inches, I'm going to line that up on the bottom of this ribbon, and then I'm just going to pull it so that I have got a 4 centimeter overhang like that. And then once you're happy with that, I'm going to just grab a fabric clip now and just pin that on there to hold that in place. And you want to make sure that this is coming down straight. You don't want it at an angle, you want it dead straight at a right angle. And next we're going to take this 4 centimeter piece and we're going to fold it up so that this bottom corner meets with that top corner. So grabbing that corner, I'm going to fold it up to meet at the top. So I'm just going to remove this clip now, make sure that it is lined up, and then grabbing the clip, I'm going to re-clip it in place. So this is what it looks like at the back, and this is what it looks like at the front. And then taking this long piece now, which is coming out from the left, we're going to fold this down, so folding it back and down, And again, we're going to fold it at an angle. So you want this inner edge here to be around halfway to this piece here. And then this piece at the top, you want a 1 centimetre overhang here. So again, taking my tape measure, I'm making sure that from this corner, this edge, the corner, to this corner is 1 centimetre, which that is. You could probably do that by eye, but I'm just showing you the measurements just to be precise for the sake of the tutorial. But if you're confident, you can do that by eye. So once you know that this is 1 centimetre, you can then make sure that your angle here is around halfway, like that. And then bringing this piece back and up, we're going to line this raw edge along the top. So grabbing this bottom piece, I'm going to bring it up, line it up along the top, and again you want 1 centimetre overhang on the opposite side this time. So again, I will show you on my tape measure. So I've got 1 centimetre there, like that. Grabbing another fabric clip, I'm going to pop that on there to hold that in place. So that is the first side of the bow now ready. I'm going to repeat those exact steps on my second half now. So we have our two pieces now, which are exactly the same, and we're ready to sew in the pinches now along the raw edge. So grabbing my needle, which is already threaded with some extra strong thread, and I've got a knot in the end. Taking 1/2 of my bow, I always sew from right to left because I'm right-handed. We're going to aim for 8 stitches, 1 in the outer edges and 6 in the middle pieces. So going in through this first corner first, through the top for our first stitch, all the way through to the knot. Then I'm just going to keep this pinched together with my thumb and finger and remove that clip. And I'm going to come back up from the bottom, catching this corner for our second stitch. Then our third stitch. Fourth stitch, fifth stitch, and our fifth stitch is catching the bottom corner of this bottom piece. And then our sixth stitch. Again, keeping it pinched with my thumb and finger whilst I remove that last clip. Our seventh stitch is going to go through this corner, catching both of these folds in this corner at the bottom as well. So going in through the top corner, catching the corner with that fold for our 7th stitch, and then our 8th stitch, again catching that corner, the whole fold, so the bottom of the ribbon and the top. So it looks like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to pull on that thread to form our pinch. And then once you're happy that you've got that in there nice and tight, I'm just going to go through that last edge, catching a couple of those layers. And then on the second go in, before I pull it tight, I'm going to go through this loose loop a couple of times, and that will just form a knot and hold that in place. So I can trim off the excess thread. So So that is 1/2 of the bow now done. I'm going to repeat those exact same stitches now on our second piece. So we have our 2 halves now ready to join together, like that. So taking a hot glue gun, place some glue along the middle of your bow, and then join those 2 halves together, lining them up neatly in the middle. You can make a base bow for this if you wanted to. You could make like a pinwheel base bow or some tails down, but I think it's a nice enough bow to have on its own. I've got a couple of pieces of 1 centimetre wide ribbon, which I actually cut from my 4 centimetre wide because I didn't have a ribbon in 1 centimetre wide to match. So I just cut mine from this ribbon and heat seal around all of the raw edges. One is to wrap my clip. As a rule, for a 45mm clip, which is what I'm using today, you will need 11 centimetres of ribbon. But this is actually a little bit short because that was just a scrap piece that I had. But that will be enough for now to half line this clip. Lining your clip is optional, that's just something that I like to do. And my daughter prefers these non-toothed clips, so that is why I just always use them, because she reckons that the toothed clips pull on her hair. But unfortunately you can't get these in any bigger, so if you have got a wider bow, you sometimes do need a bigger clip. You will have to use the toothed ones, but I find these ones hold really well, and this bow is relatively light, so this clip will work fine on this particular bow. And then using the other piece, I'm going to wrap the centre. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to the end, and I'm going to start on the top because we're going to cover it with a flower anyway. And then I'm going to start wrapping around my clip. Just going to add another little bit of glue this side just to make sure that it doesn't shift out of place. And I'm just going to go around that top again. And then trim off the excess. Again, heat seal the raw edge. Every time you cut ribbon, always heat seal the raw edge. And then I'm just going to add one more last bit of glue to that and finish that off underneath the clip. Now I could leave this bow as it is, like this, because as you can see it does look beautiful as it is, but I'm going to add one of these lovely silk flowers. Again, I will link everything in this video in the description below. So I'm just going to trim off one of these flowers. I only want the head, so I'm just going to trim it off, leaving a little bit of the stalk. I'll need to trim it off a little bit closer because this stalk is not like a wire. Like some of the paper flowers, the stalk is like wiry, a bit like these, and you can bend them down. But toward the top of these flowers, they're quite stiff and plasticky, so you can't quite bend it over. Well, you can if you really give it a push, it's not too bad. I'm going to leave the leaf part on, and I'm going to stick this in the middle of my bow. Again, just using hot glue, so I'm going to go right over the stem and that bottom piece. and then place that in the centre of my bow. And there you have your finished ribbon hair bow with silk flower in the middle. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today. If you did, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you press the bell button, that will turn on notifications. I'll be back again soon with another tutorial. Bye for now.